Facebook, where you have to choose between different, you and I have spoken a little bit about Jaron Lanier and his critique of that. There's a problem with the notion that we have to in some way identify. We have to exclude.
Okay.
We can't have different ambivalent meanings in the same way.
Yeah, but what interests me, if you ask me, in phenomena, not only Facebook, but generally this, let's call them staged identities, like where you can invent a fake identity.
This is a very Nietzschean move of you, no? The notion that our truth is really the mask we put on.
Yeah, although, that's another topic, my problems with Nietzsche and so on, But yes, I believe in this, I believe here in alienation. I'm in alienation in the sense of, again, you need an external point of identification. The truth is out there, but not because we have to avoid our true inner self. Our true inner self is full of shit, it's misery, whatever. I never believed in, getting deep into a person.
We don't need all that intellectual bollocks, Slavoj. I know I exist and I know what my identity is. Well, I am from Yorkshire, so we do like to keep things simple up here. We're not like these continental philosophers. But are we who we think we are? Are we who we say we are? It's an interesting philosophical conundrum. Is BP Visits really Phillip Scott? He wants us to think that he's just BP Visits, as if Phillip Scott doesn't exist. On the other hand, we know that Phillip Scott exists, and we know that BP Visits exists. So there is at least a possibility that they are the same person, because BP Visits is not a real name, so these are not mutually exclusive sets. A reliable source, the Doncaster Free Press, tells us that BP Visits is Phillip Scott, but whoever BP Visits really is it any of our business? Shouldn't it be private? I think it is of public interest. He's not just a private person, he has projected himself into the public arena through his antics as the Purple Panty Pest. But is he Phillip Scott? Can we be certain? Can we be certain of anything? What if he changes his name to Paul Scott? Changes his sex even, and starts calling himself Philippa Scott, and adopts a new sinister moniker as the Purple Pinafore Pest? Now, if you think I'm being silly, there is a serious point I want to make, which is that the Civil Aviation Authority, the CAA, which is a public body that regulates drone use in the UK, seems not to be aware of Phillip Scott. It's as if he doesn't exist. The point is this: owners of drones in the UK must register with the Civil Aviation Authority and obtain an operator ID. This is required by Article 14.6 of the UK implementing regulation. Article 14.8 of the same regulation states that the drone itself must display the operator ID, and this interpretation of Article 14.8 is confirmed in the CAA's own Acceptable Means of Compliance (AMC) document, as it relates to Article 14.8. What you see here is an image of BP Visits drone with the operator ID clearly displayed. So far so good. He appears to be compliant. The operator ID appears to be GBR Golf Bravo Romeo -OP Oscar Papa -CBA Charlie Bravo Alpha HJD Hotel Juliet Delta 5H8K2X. That's 5 Hotel 8 Kilo 2 X-ray. Assuming this is a sub 250 gram drone, it does look like it on the image. Mr. Scott is not required to obtain his own flyer ID, which would attach to himself as an individual drone user. He only requires an operator ID, which attaches to the operator of the drone, which need not necessarily be the drone user. Note that if the operator of the drone is a limited company, then the operator ID must still attach to a natural individual, known as the accountable manager. This means that even if Mr. Scott operates his drone as a limited company, the result is the same. The operator ID must be registered against a natural individual. Now, we know that Mr. Scott runs that YouTube channel and flies that drone, so I would expect the operator ID to be attached to the name Phillip Scott. It is permissible for him to have the operator ID registered under someone else, but I would consider that to be a very disingenuous state of affairs, given that Mr. Scott is both the operator of the drone or accountable manager and its user. So here we are on the CAA website, and when we key in the operator ID and the name Phillip Scott, we draw a blank.
Computer says no.
Of course, it could be my mistake. Others can check, though it may be that by the time you watch this, Mr. Scott has watched this video too and updated the CAA with the correct name, so just bear that in mind. Here's a list of the names I've tried against the operator ID on the drone. Phillip Scott, Phillip Scott with one L in Philip, Phil Scott, Phil Scott with two L's in Phil, a less common spelling but it is in use as a diminutive, Bill Payer, William Payer, Philippa Scott, Philippa Scott with one L, Philippa Scott with one P, Philippa Scott with one L and one P, Paul Scott, Paula Scott, Paula Abdul. That last one's a joke. I even tried all the names with Scott, but spelt with just one T. I've really pushed the boat out here for you, Philippa. Sorry, Phil. You owe me, man. I tried everything. None of the names tried come up against the operator ID that appears on the drone. It's a curious state of affairs, let me repeat. A quite critical point here is that I also tried the name of his wife. I won't tell you what her name is, of course, but I'm sure you can see the point I'm making. If he's going to use someone else's name as the drone operator, surely his wife's name is the obvious choice. There must be an innocent explanation for all this, but if his name isn't registered to the drone and his wife's name isn't either, what could the explanation be? I'm aware that the CAA do not check a registrant's identity when you apply for an operator ID. All that's required is a name, a home address, a date of birth, an email address, and a debit card. It would be quite easy for someone to register the operator ID in a different name, perhaps a fake name, but use their own debit or credit card to make the payment. Anyway, whatever is the truth, the police will be told about this situation and they will contact the CAA to establish the fact of the matter one way or the other. I know what Mr. Scott's defenders will say. They will say that he does not have to register himself against the drone. Strictly speaking, this is correct in the sense of a letter of the law. As I've explained, Article 14.6 only requires that UAS operators should register themselves, and Article 2.2 simply defines a UAS operator as someone operating or intending to operate a drone, which is taken to mean that it need not be the person actually using or flying the drone. But I still think that Mr. Scott is being very disingenuous if he is not the person registered against the drone he uses, even if he is using the name of a real person. I think what this boils down to is that BP Visits is no man of mystery. We know who he is, and it's time he took off the mask and took accountability for his own actions, including making sure he is registered as the operator of that drone.